Alright, everybody. This is gonna be a fun segment for me. You guys know I always love an excuse to talk about this because it pisses off the worst of the worst people in the online left and makes them hate me, it feels like healing. And on top of that, it allows me to talk about a genuine problem in the online left, and people just aren't willing to accept it's a real problem. And the fact that now, especially, more people are calling it out, God, it makes me happy. It's so cathartic. It's so fucking cathartic, dude. I love it. Anyway, as I was saying, I despise Hasan Piker. It wasn't always this way. I never thought he was like the shining beacon of lefty thought figures or whatever, but I never hated him originally. I actually was very charitable to him, even though he would sometimes say some pretty iffy things. For example, things like "America deserves 9/11," a real quote that he said. I played devil's advocate for these things because I thought I understood what he meant by it, and, you know, he's a big figure. He does good for the left. He's got massive appeal. He's huge. He's got a big audience. He's getting a lot of attention. So surely, Hasan, you know, even if he's not perfect, not really worth attacking, right? And I defended this idea for years. You can go back and see. People might even one day start calling me hypocritical for it, because there was a point where I did not hate Hasan and even played devil's advocate for him. But it is true. I did. That slowly but surely began to change as Hasan's politics began to dip away from talking about social issues relevant to politics in America, which is where I find he shines and has the least problematic opinions. I generally don't disagree with him on, like, domestic policy, to be honest. But then he started dipping into foreign policy, in large part due to the war in Ukraine and the conflict in Israel-Gaza. And, what's now kind of escalated to everything around Israel now, pretty much, in large part due to Israel loving to escalate things, because that's what Israel does. They escalate. But yeah, with that aside, a lot of foreign policy talk. Now, at first, I thought, okay, well, you know, sure, all right, cool. But then Hasan decided to start talking about the rumors, or I should say, basically confirmed leaks of the coming invasion in Ukraine. First, he started saying it wasn't going to happen, and everyone's saying that it was. We're war hawks, and, like, gloating about every day that the mainstream media and the Ukrainian Nazis, that was a big talking point back then, were, like, lying about Russia. Meanwhile, like, tanks and bases and fucking blood bags are being shipped to the border, and slowly, as he gets proven wrong over and over again, he has to walk it back, but somehow manages to backpedal to a worse and more indefensible position every time, at one point outright defending the annexation of Crimea and the invasion of Ukraine, basically just outright doing everything that I've criticized him for a while now, on repeat, which is it's okay for other countries to do imperialism as long as it's not America. The core is always just America bad, you know? And so Hasan has since then kind of gained a brand around the America bad realm of politics, and it's gotten him to the point where he's just constantly posting cringe, like really bad. And if you don't believe me, then I'm going to show you this video. Ethan Klein posted this yesterday. It's getting a lot of traction, and it's causing a lot of discussion. You see, Ethan Klein and Hasan used to do a podcast called Leftovers that came to an end because due to their disagreement on Israel and Palestine, Hasan's audience harassed Ethan Klein nonstop, and his family, obviously, and everyone else associated with him, until he decided, I'm not doing this podcast with the guy anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. It's over. And it ended. Mind you, Ethan Klein is not, like, pro-Israel genocide on Palestinians. I have seen multiple clips now of Ethan Klein criticizing the IDF, criticizing Israel, calling what is happening to the Palestinians a genocide, talking about how bad it is. The issue they have with him is that he talks about it with nuance. He is from Israel, Well, I think he lived in Israel for a time. His wife is from Israel, and the people in Hasan's audience were outright being anti-Semitic to Ethan's wife. Not Hasan. Did I say Hasan's wife? Ethan's wife. They were being anti-Semitic to her because she was born in Israel, and because of that, she was in the IDF because of the compulsory military service. And he has family from Israel too. I believe his family's from Israel, but he was born in America, did a time, stayed in Israel, and then came back to America, if I understand right. I don't know the full lore. It's been a while. But regardless, that's my understanding. Now, Hasan has, since this all happened, progressively gotten more and more anti-Semitic. Now, when I say this, I am not mincing words. I'm going to be showing you this video from Ethan Klein in a minute that's going to get across what I'm talking about here. But when we think of anti-Semitism, one of the worst things that the Nazis and Hitler did among their genocide was also making it such that when people think of anti-Semitism, they think white supremacy. That, like, white supremacists are the ones who are anti-Semitic. When in reality, Jewish people have had conspiracy theories made about them, have been enslaved, genocided, and oppressed, going back thousands of years, and mostly not by white people from the U.S. certainly, you know, like the or even like in Western Europe, or Eastern Europe, most of the. There is a lot of different forms of anti-Semitism, and one of them has been around for a long time, and that has been in the Middle East. There has been a long issue where some, keyword some, I don't even know if it would be most, Arabic people in the Middle East are anti-Semitic due to religious beliefs. And that idea is one that's surprisingly, looked past on the left, it seems. Especially now when you consider that, Israel and its actions militarily have fueled that fire to a degree that, unimaginably so. I'd actually wager to say, with Sneeko especially, that, it's not white supremacists that are some of the largest and most outspoken anti-Semites now. It would be people making excuses for Islamic terror and enabling Islamic terror groups. And Hasan has fallen into at least the far margins, if not further in than you might expect, of that area. Anti-Semitism is not unique to, white nationalist Nazis, okay? We're going to be looking at a very different new brand, not even a new, but a to many people, new brand of anti-Semitism today, and that is what Ethan Klein is calling out. It is not criticism of Israel, mind you. It is anti-Semitism. Now watch. Let's get into this. I've seen the video, by the way. I've already seen this. This is not a first-time watch for me.
Hello, everybody. It's Ethan Klein from my basement. Beautiful Friday evening. My kids just went to sleep, and I opened Reddit to browse my community, who I love so well. And at the top of the subreddit is this very lovely clip entitled, "Just a Casual Panel Provided by Twitch."
Okay. Now, if you don't know, Hasan is not on stage here. Well, he kind of is. Technically, he is on stage here. You'll see in a moment what I mean by that. But he is not physically, literally, in flesh and blood on that stage. But you may recognize the people who are on that stage as Hasan's orbit. Like his orbit. Obviously, you've got, fuck, what's her name? Shit, how am I blanking on her name right now? Frogan. It's Frogan. I always think Froggen, or whatever, in reference to Pepe the Frog, because Twitch streaming and Pepe the Frog tied together. Frogan, more like Froyo, Froyo yogurt, kind of pronounced like that. Frogan, who's his main mod and one of the biggest orbiters of Hasan's sphere. Denims, who I used to be friends with, and when I helped her set up her stream, which I did do, by the way, I in a way you could argue I created, I unleashed her upon Twitch, as I helped her learn OBS and set up her stream format. she specifically told me she wanted her stream to just be exactly Hasan's layout. I was like, really? Like you just want like 1-to-1 exactly, like using the same like chat thing, like just using Chatterino, but you just clip it and put it above your, just exactly Hasan's setup. And if you look at her stream, it might be changed now, but it was just exactly Hasan's setup, like exactly Hasan's. And I always found that quite funny. Anyway, this is Hasan's orbit. This is like 100% like Hasan's sphere, and they're on stage right now, I think at TwitchCon, if not some Twitch affiliated event. They're at TwitchCon, I guess. Oh yeah, it is October. TwitchCon would be happening now. And this panel is sponsored by Capcom, Chevron, and Samsung. I just want you to know that before we watch this, okay? It's fucking crazy.
Twitch at their con broadcasted on their official channel. What is it? Well, it's a panel hosted by Frogan and 4 of her friends, in which they have a tier list where they rate people where good is Arab and bottom is loves Sabra.
So, if you don't know, Sabra is a very popular hummus brand in the Middle East, I believe, notably very popular in Israel, and apparently, it's like, God, what is something analogous in America to like how common, like you can't go into a house in Israel and not find some Sabra hummus, okay? It's like, it's just everywhere, right? So Sabra, in this context, the love Sabra thing means Jew. Thinks it's a slur is in reference to a word that thankfully I can say on YouTube, cracker. So this is white, like white people would think cracker is a slur. Asks perms, I don't know what this is a reference to. Asks perms for a chat or something? I don't know. And then the top is Arab. Like Arab is like S tier. Like we're actually rating streamers based on what race they're coded for. That is what's happening here, or what like ethnicity or whatever they're coded with. It's going to get really funny in a second here, too.
Sabra is a very popular hummus brand. I know in Israel, it's pretty much in everybody's refrigerator, and it's kosher. They're an American company, but they've been the subject of the pro-Palestine.
Yeah, Sabra itself is actually a kosher food company, but their most popular product is like a little tub of hummus. So it's literally a kosher food company. They make... So, like, if the love Sabra thing means loves kosher food, it's dog whistling Jews. This is like lefty dog whistling to mean Jew. Like, the right has the echo sign, and I guess the left now has Sabra lovers. What the fuck? This is endorsed by Twitch and 3 massive companies on stage at a panel on TwitchCon. This is the state of Twitch politics. Yes, the left seems to be dominating it right now, but it's this brand of leftism. You guys see why I want nothing to do with this, right? You guys see why I could see this coming from miles the fuck away. And there has been a reason I've been calling these people out for like years now, even with massive pushback from some of you guys, because there was only one way where their rhetoric could go, and it was here. And here it is. It gets worse, though, guys. It gets even funnier, too.
Boycott. I mean, it's kind of just Arab good, Jew bad. I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing this any other way. And what's crazy is that I've been suspecting that Twitch has an anti-Semitism problem. Obviously,
they do.
It started with Hasan platforming Houthi terrorists and showing unfettered terrorist propaganda on his channel. But now...
My favorite thing about that was when, before Hasan brought that guy on, someone in the chat asked him, are you really going to bring a Houthi terrorist or a Houthi rebel on stream? And he said, yeah, man, of course. I'm a journalist. What are you talking about? This is my job. I'm a journalist. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then he brought him on stream, and he was like, yeah, hell yeah, Houthis, yeah, woo, woo, you're doing great. You're doing what Luffy would do. And then after he got shit for it, he started saying, how do you even know he was a Houthi? He was just a random teenager from Yemen. You guys are just out there wishing death on this random teenager from Yemen, when before he even brought the dude on for an interview, he was defending doing it because talking to a, and I quote, Houthi rebel is part of his job. And so he's walked that back because now it looks too bad to even admit he platformed a terrorist. But he did. Hasan's just a liar.
They've unbanned Sneeko.
Down with the Yahud! Down with the Yahud!
They did, in fact, unban Sneeko recently. And if you don't know what Yahud means, that is Arabic for Jew, I believe. So, yeah. This is that brand of anti-Semitism I opened the segment talking about. Not the white nationalist kind. A different kind, because for some reason, I genuinely don't know why. It might just go back to Bible times, like when there's supposed to have been like 5,000 people on the planet or something. I don't know why, but like anti-Semitism is like it's like the first brand of bigotry that every like culture around the world develops for some reason. It's like, you know who we should discriminate against? The Jews. Why? Why? Every time? Why? I'm actually asking.
And they've just unbanned Fresh and Fit this week.
Of course.
These are two of the most prolific Jew-hating...
For those that don't know, Myron Gaines is like the most racist black man to ever live, maybe. Candace Owens gives him a run for his money, but it's a big stretch. I believe he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's Haitian. And he hates black Americans. Like, he believes that as a black man whose ancestors were not taken to America via the slave trade, it means that his ancestors were Sudanese, my bad. He believes that his ancestors were superior, and that's why they were not sold into slavery. And thus, that is why, in his view, black Americans are racially inferior to black non-Americans because of this like mindset of superiority he has. It's not even colorism. It's like or originism or something. I don't even know. He has like a conspiracy about how not being from America makes him a superior... Afrocentrism? Would that be the term for it? I don't even know. The dude is fucking deranged. Of course Twitch just unbanned him. Like, Twitch's policy right now legitimately seems to be you can be a full-on neo-Nazi as long as you are... I'm gonna say it. Twitch's policies are insane right now. It seems like you're allowed to be a full-on neo-Nazi as long as you're a person of color. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in Nick Fuentes because of his last name, even though Spanish last names are like Spaniards were white. Like Fuentes originates from Spain, that name. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back, too. Like, it seems... It's so bizarre. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? These content creators are at their peak of bigotry, and Twitch is bringing them back. That's going to get clipped, but Zan is spitting facts. I don't care if it gets clipped. I'm getting clipped constantly. I'm pretty sure I've had 5 deranged hate videos made about me in the last month alone, dude. Like, you're going to get shit if you're correct all the time. That is, like... possibly the biggest truth on the internet I have found. We're in a day and age where there are so many grifters out there desperate to like shut down anyone who calls out like the popular narrative that they're able to make money off of, that of course you're going to get shit talked if you have a nuanced take. That's the internet, dude.
Creators on the entire internet. And these are the two they've targeted to bring back. Now, taking this all in account, here's an officially sanctioned event at TwitchCon. Let's take a look at it and see what exactly is Twitch endorsing here.
Okay.
It's the perfect transition to our first person, Hasan.
Yeah.
This one's funny.
Gee, I wonder where they're gonna put Hasan. I'm gonna guess they're gonna put him in Arab.
Hasan is Turkish, but he's a brother.
Yeah.
You know? So...
yeah, I think he'd be on Arab coded.
I mean, I would put him in Arab, to be honest.
I would put him also in Arab.
Which is great.
Man. Who could have guessed that the content creator that all these figures circulate would put Hasan at the absolute top? Okay. Can I just tell you why it is so funny for Hasan, a Turk, to be put in the Arab category? Now, for one, Turks aren't Arabs, so there's that. But also, on top of that, back in World War I, when the Ottoman Empire was a thing, they ruled, like, the entire Arabian Peninsula, like almost entirely, and with an iron fist, too. Mind you, like, they literally genocided the Armenians during this time. That was the Ottoman Empire, which was Turkey. So the idea that Hasan, I don't know, it's just funny, you know, to put Hasan the Turk in Arab coded, you know, when you consider, you know, it's just a little funny, guys. I'm just saying the history makes it a little funny. It's a little silly. It's a little funny. It's almost like political content creators don't fucking know history.
Yeah, I think he'd be on Arab coded.
I mean, I would put him in Arab, to be honest.
I would put him
No
also
way.
in Arab.
Which is great. That's the good one. That's the one you want.
Austin. Let's go down the line.
He's
Arab.
Arab.
He's Arab.
Arab.
He's
He's
actual
Arab.
Lebanese. Like,
Yeah.
Austin Show? I think it's because Austin Show is like the clouded guy who does all the big Twitch shows, and if you want to get clout, you go on Austin's like events he hosts.
Good job. Good job,
Can't bite the
Austin.
hand that feeds you on
Next
Twitch.
person is one of my favorite people. Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
Oh boy.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one. That's
Oh, Jewish.
Dude, where's the? You guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my.
stand up.
We're very proud of you, Denim, for bringing anti-Semitism right on stage, and you guys are killing it. And maybe I...
Dude. Oh, sorry. I sped up the video a bit by holding on the screen. Dude. This is Twitch doing endorsing some of the largest political streamers on their platform. How is Twitch allowing this shit? This is TwitchCon. This is a Twitch-endorsed panel. Twitch has, like, made a stage at TwitchCon, their event, where they have put these creators on stage at a scheduled panel that people specifically went to TwitchCon to go to. This was, like, part of their events that are, like, this is one of the things that people went to TwitchCon for. When we talk about Twitch being, like, truly, truly cooked right now, this is what I mean. Like, this is where Twitch is at right now, both as a platform culturally and as, like, a company. Okay, but seriously, what is this Arab supremacy shit? I don't know what the fuck is going on, dude. I don't know. I guess it's just, like, the fucking Israel shit gave, like, the perfect in for this, like, weird, like, fucking brain rot. Like, on the right, you've got these, like, pseudo-fake Muslim Nazi dudes like Sneeko, and on the left, you've got, like, just everybody trying to say, oh, if you are any country in the Arabic Peninsula, then you get to have carte blanche to do war crimes, I guess, as long as you're not America. I don't know. Or as long as you're not Israel, which is backed by America. Like, it's some weird line of politics, I think. It's just the America bad stuff. I don't even think... Here's the thing about this. With the Nazis, it's so clear that they just, like, desperately hate Jews. Like, they are insane. With the lefties, though, I'm not sure I would jump to assuming the people on the stage are anti-Semites, you know? I've hung out with Denim's IRL. I don't think she's an anti-Semite. I didn't get that vibe from her. Like, she definitely wasn't talking about, like, hating the Jews when we were hanging out. So I can confirm... You know, it didn't seem that way. What it seems like is a desperate desire to oppose America at every turn is eventually going to make you say and agree with some pretty awful or stupid stuff if once in a blue moon America is doing a good thing, right? Like if America backing basically engaging in a proxy war ends up being a good thing, then opposing it as a principle ends up looking cringe. And usually America, like paying another country and basically engaging in a proxy war is a bad thing. But in the case of Ukraine, it's very much not. And so they look dumb. In the case of like foreign policy military action in the Middle East. America has done a lot of fucked up shit, so people do default to a pretty negative opinion on any support for Israel or any military action in the Middle East. But sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's good, and when you oppose it as a principle, kind of end up looking dumb. Sometimes it might even lead you to doing a little bit of an anti-Semitism if you take it too far. You just can't push an idea as a principle with no concern for context or like possibilities that you're wrong. It just if you push for the same thing always, no matter what, and don't care if you're wrong, you end up doing this basically. Well, now wait till Hasan finds out about the U.S. backing the Mujahideen to fight his precious USSR during the 80s. Well, that's he knows. I assure you, he knows. That's kind of where the quote that's so famous I quoted came from before. Brave Mujahideen warrior, eye socket. I forget what the quote was, but it was funny. That was actually Hasan. That was a rare Hasan W in that case.
For bringing anti-Semitism right on stage, and you guys are killing it. And may I point out here, Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung.
Endorsed.
Do you know that there is an Arab to Jew tier list happening in front of your sponsor? And you guys were so kind to sitting right in front of them. Chevron, Samsung, and Capcom. By the way, a bit of irony. I love that they're boycotting hummus and sitting in front of a Chevron logo. Like, yeah, I wonder which one's doing more damage. Okay. We know Twitch is like, plays favorites with everything.
Well, like, Twitch streamers, like the big lefty Twitch streamers, are unironically the most, like, if anyone is, what's so hilarious is they love using the term controlled opposition. It's a very common lefty term, right? Like, oh, the Democrats are controlled opposition. They're actually right-wing, and they're actually fascist and in favor of all the bad stuff, but we're forced to believe that they're our only real option. This is why you shouldn't vote, like that kind of thing. It's like, it's ironic they call other lefties who are not as, like, Kool-Aid drink as them, like, haven't drank the Kool-Aid as much as them, like controlled opposition. They're very quick to it. And yet these are content creators who make an immense amount of money off of an Amazon-owned platform. And they go to Twitchcon to do a panel, and behind them, as they do their lefty panel, are like 3 of the largest corporations ever sponsoring their event. And it's like, man, if that's not controlled opposition, like, you can't be calling anybody else controlled opposition if that isn't, okay? Like, Jesus Christ.
If they were really serious about anti-Semitism, Sneeko and Fresh and Fit would never have been brought back to the platform. It's just a no-brainer, right? But they were welcomed back with open arms. And I mean, their whole platform essentially for the past year has just been anti-Semitism. I'm not even kidding. And that's literally...
Jesus Christ, I think we've got a Hasan fan in chat. Killing babies by starving them. Also, if we send a box to you and it explodes, you'll cry and call it terrorism. Shows what psychos you are. You'll be claiming to own the air and water next. Oh wait, you're just Nazis with different branding. See, this is how these people get, like, suckered into this mindset. Yeah, of course I banned them. Don't worry. Of course, don't worry, guys. Of course I banned them. They're a retard. But yeah, like, they get brain fucked by this idea that America is always evil. And, like, they're literally pro-terrorism because they don't believe that when America refers to a group as a terrorist group, it's accurate unless it's a domestic terrorist group, I guess. Maybe I guess you rarely see Hasan or these people arguing with the U.S.'s classification of the KKK as a domestic terrorist group or the Proud Boys. You rarely see them contest that, but they call the Houthis a terrorist group, and it's like, no. And then in the example, they say, oh yeah, if they send a box that explodes, you call it terrorism. It's like, yes, if you try to blow up civilians in a post office, then it's terrorism. That is what that is. Trying to kill civilians to incite terror is indeed terrorism.
Literally all they talk about.
Jesus.
I don't know what to say. You know, I've kind of been put in this position where, like, I watched this clip and I'm like, what the fuck am I actually watching? This is mad. I need to say something.
To be fair, America called Nelson Mandela a South African anti-apartheid fighter a terrorist. That's true. America's not always right. Like I said, once in a blue moon. Did I not say that earlier? Like, America is generally not very good with its foreign policy, because generally, I mean, we've had some good stints of Democrats leading things. It's not perfect when we have Dems in power, but man, when Republicans are running things, it's a fucking nightmare. Trump just unprovoked randomly fucking bombed world leaders. So yeah, the idea that American foreign policy is like it's not a thing. Like, American foreign policy isn't this stable, stationary thing you can point to and label through and through bad and have that be a sticking statement. Our country and its administrations change constantly. What the people want, what the administrations want, changing constantly, and what is popular often dictates what politicians can realistically do when there are elections coming up. Like, American foreign policy is so much more complicated than any of these content creators will ever allow you to believe, because they rely financially on you people, I mean the viewers, believing that it is simple enough that they can just say this side good, this side bad, and leave the conversation there. Because if it's more complicated than that, then they have to do research. And oh my God, there's nothing that content creators like Hasan fear more than being put in a situation where they have to do research on or off stream and not just talk out of their ass. That is their biggest fear, is being forced into a situation where they have to do something other than talk out of their ass. Hasan especially.
Chevron, Samsung, and Capcom, they deserve to know. You know, I know Capcom put in a Shmuley the Rabbi in the next Street Fighter game, who attacks with the dreidels and throws foreskin. So they are very in touch with the Jewish identity. So we're going to have to ask them. That's it. Enjoy the weekend. I know there's going to be lots of obfuscating and excuses for this video. And
wait, hold on. Why do Nazis always say that, like, Jews killed Jesus? Because for one, Jesus was Jewish, so it's not like it would have been like some, like, Jewish on not Jewish hate crime. And on top of that, wasn't it really done by, like, Catholic Romans? Weren't they the ones that killed Christ? I thought it was, like, Romans, who were very much Christian at the time. Yeah. So Nazis are just, like, so off base in that respect, right? Like, they're just like retarded on their own lore. This is gonna get clipped. No, I'm responding to someone in chat talking about how, like, the Nazis claim that, like, the Jews killed Jesus or whatever, and it's like, no, it's actually the other way around. Jesus was the Jewish person that was killed by non-Jewish people. Like, wait, what? Zan, what the fuck? That's completely wrong. Wait, am I wrong here? Because I'm going off of what chat's saying. Wait, was it not Romans? It was pre-Catholic Romans. Well, yeah, but weren't they still Christians? Was it Roman Christians? I guess it wouldn't be. Catholics, yeah. They were pagan. Yeah, so, like, pre-Christians, I guess. Regardless, fucking anti-Semitism. It's always been stupid, and here's another situation in which they base their logic for it off of falsehoods, you know? It's just always this fucking bizarre conspiracy theory, and whenever people believe in bizarre, crazy conspiracy theories, like, it always ends at anti-Semitism. It's actually perfect, because later in the stream we're talking about flat Earth, and I guarantee you for half the flat Earthers that have a platform online right now and have any clout, they're also Nazis. And their flat Earth belief leads to the JQ. They believe the Jews are the ones pushing the idea that the Earth is round. And that is going to be a segment with Candace Owens later on in the stream. So, like, it's every insane conspiracy theory, left or right. Like, whenever people want to find some, like, cabal or group to, like, scapegoat or put blame on, it's always the Jews. I don't get it. What'd they do? Who'd they piss off?
You know, let's be real, guys. let's just look at this optically. Imagine this flipped. Super Jew and colonizer on the bottom, right?
Dude, my left eye, you know the Roman Empire lasted, like, a really long time, and their religion, like, changed over time based on, like, leadership changes and stuff. So I'm guessing at the time when they killed Jesus, they would have been pagans, but, like, the Romans, like, early Roman Empire to late Roman Empire, spiritually very different with their spiritual beliefs.
And I go, Frogan, we know where she goes. She goes to the bottom. Like, let's be fucking real, okay? No one else would get that treatment. So don't even try to pretend or act like this is some innocent little mistake and that one of the guys there is Jewish. I just don't care. I'm glad you have a Jewish friend. That's very nice. But at the end of the day, let's get real, okay? Get your shit together.
Yeah. So basically, calling out the double standard. If you swapped the situation here, and you had like Ethan Klein doing the same thing, like rating like content creators from like let's say like Zionist to Hamas supporter, and he happened to rank like the way like you like using the sort of same level of euphemism that they used, not even making it what like, you know, just making it 1-to-1, right? It's just like you could never get away with it if you flipped the scenario. It's like right on its face. You're like, oh yeah, that's horrible. So it's very clear that you flip the situation, doesn't change anything. It's bad regardless. Jesus. I really do want to let you guys know, though, there is a silver lining, okay? There is one silver lining. Hasan is shrinking. Not literally. I mean, I'm sure he's probably, like, still working out. But, I mean, his content and his platform is shrinking. Last I checked, it wasn't really growing. It was actually just slowly bleeding out, and he's been complaining about it on LSF and stuff. He's gotten a lot more attention lately, like, since then, so he might be back to growing, but I do believe that Hasan, in getting so radical and enabling such awful beliefs, while he is going to experience a loud, burst of support as this gets a little bit bigger and gets more attention, I think Hasan's probably going to burn himself out. Like, and his own audience out as well. I think he's going to fall off, like, in the coming years. Probably by the next election. Maybe I'm wrong, but if Hasan doesn't stop pushing for such radical politics, I mean, right now, the majority of his fans, I'd be willing to bet, are probably college age at the oldest, and they're going to mature outside of, like, political LARPing age, and they're going to age out of Hasan's content. It's a big part of why Hasan doesn't really have a lot of staying power. Is that he's like a Mr. Beast of politics, right? Like, he blows up big, sure, but people are going to grow out of his content once they get a bit older and more mature, right? It only really lasts so long. It can only be, like, that method can only make you successful for so much, right? Same goes for the conservative chud grift, right? Where it can only last so long. Eventually it burns itself out. Anyway, with all that said, if you enjoyed this segment, found it entertaining or even educational, then please consider leaving a like. Every single thumbs up boosts my content in the algorithm, whether I'm live or it's a VOD or a video going up on its own. The likes push my content in the algorithm out to more people, and it really does help a ton. I really do appreciate it. Commenting as well goes to boost the channel and the algorithm. I really love the comments. I also like reading your comments to hear what you guys think. It helps to drown out the amount of deranged comments from people who, like, watch a video and then leave a different comment for every complaint they have. I always leave them there, though, because that is extra engagement, but still, it's always nice to have the nice comments down there. So tell me what you think. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already to turn on all notifications so that YouTube tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, follow my social medias linked down below in the description. And if you want to be a part of the main hub of my fan base and community, consider joining my fan Discord. It's totally free to join. It goes hard as fuck. I announce all my new uploads, streams, and content on my my Discord server, and I do watch parties, gaming events, and call-in streams there. So make sure you join. You don't want to miss those things. Finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch through the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless, thank you for your support, and as always, have a good one. I hope to see you again.